Here we got rappers who ran from the police, because I'm not saying cops. Cops just sound like some. You feel me? But look, go ahead and get into it. Make sure I like, comment, if y'all new, go ahead and subscribe, turn on post notifications, bell, stick notifications to my drop one road 200 subscribe. Look at that interview today. Send to my Instagram for free for and so me you see. Let's go ahead and get to the video. Let's do it. I'll see y'all folks in that video.
Making it out of the trenches in the rap game is the dream for a lot of people. But most dudes who make it still have one foot in the streets and get caught up. Today, we're breaking down the most famous rappers who didn't leave the streets behind and ended up running from the cops. SpotemGottem is a rapper from Jacksonville, Florida, who blew up back in 2020 with the track Beatbox. He got booked last year on weapon charges after allegedly pointing a pistol at a parking attendant. And when the cops found him in his hotel room, he had a Draco tucked in bed with him. Spotem pleaded not guilty to the charges, but now he's facing a new case after trying to run from the cops on a jet ski. On June 26, Spotem was riding a jet ski around the Miami Marine Stadium when the cops saw him doing S-type turns near anchored boats and speeding through a restricted area. The police turned on their boat siren and lights to get his attention, but Spotem went full Grand Theft Auto and smashed off. According to cops, Spotem began to swerve through boats in close proximity to swimmers. Eventually the police caught him, and luckily, no one got hurt. Jet skis are a lot more dangerous than people think, and Spotem could have easily killed someone in the water if he ran them over.
So you telling me this nigga ran from the police on water? That could have been one of the dumbest shit you could ever do. Like, where you going? How far you think you going? I don't know.
He got hit with reckless operation of a boat and fleeing the police, but it's not clear if the case will end up going to trial. He's already facing some serious charges though, and since he's a felon, it might be tough to get a good plea deal. Chef G helped put Brooklyn Drill on the map in 2017 when he dropped No Suburban. Chef became a successful rapper damn near overnight, but he'd been having issues with the cops basically his whole life. Coming up in Brooklyn was tough, and Chef said, growing up, all I was around was violence, in school, or hanging with my It was rough in the streets. I had to be protected out there, so I rolled with the A-Trays. He caught his first charge when he was 15, and Chef's been in and out of jail ever since. Even after he blew up with No Suburban, Chef was still active in the streets. He got stabbed in the head after one of his ops caught him lacking from behind.
Stabbed in the head? Stabbed in the head? What the fuck? Niggas stab niggas in the head? I ain't never knew no shit. I swear to God, this is my first time ever hearing a nigga say somebody got stabbed in the head. I heard the neck, feel me? Probably the face, but the head? Bro, that shit harder for you. Must goddamn thought arm or some shit like, damn.
And then Chef says he went back to jail from October 2017 to January 2018. In 2019, he came back to the rap game with the mixtape, The Unlucky Lucky Kid. The tape earned him even more momentum in the industry, but Chef still ain't switched up how he moved. On August 21st, 2020, he got into a high-speed chase in Long Island. It's not clear why the cops were after him, but Chef flew through an intersection and swiped an SUV with his Mercedes. Chef slid another 200 feet down the road before his car smashed into a tree. Luckily, he made it out with no serious injuries, but the woman he hit wasn't as fortunate. She sued Chef G and said the crash injured her neck, back, and shoulder, and now she's trying to get a bag off him. Getting hit with a lawsuit.
If that was the footage, she's alive, but she finna get paid. No lie. Just cause. I promise, just cause.
It's tough, but Chef has worse problems to deal with right now. Last year, he pleaded guilty to second-degree gun possession after getting pulled over in the same Mercedes and getting caught with a 4.5 cal Glock. He's currently serving a 2-year sentence for the charge, but maybe this time when he gets out, he'll focus on his career and leave the streets for good. Youngboy never broke again, just beat his case after dealing with legal issues for the past couple years. And now his homie DDawg is facing his own sentence. On September 21st, DDawg got into a police chase just a few days after getting out on bond for an attempted murder charge. Nobody knows why.
You ain't never heard of that. They get out and say cool down. They already on you. Like you on their radar from what you already did. They want to see what you gonna do for the past year or two for sure. Come on, bro. You just gotta think, bro. I promise. If you think, it's so different.
Why DDawg was running in the first place. but he ended up crashing, which killed his homie in the passenger seat.
Shit.
DDawg got hit with manslaughter and resisting an officer, but he's still in the hospital recovering from the crash. He might get more charges added later because the cops also found a ski mask and weapons inside his whip. This ain't the first serious case that DDawg has been involved in. Back in 2012, he was arrested for allegedly murdering a dude named Derek Mariano. According to local reporters, DDawg and two other dudes robbed Derek, and at some point, shots started going off. Derek was tragically killed, and his wife and daughter barely made it out of the situation alive. DDawg is also facing an attempted murder charge from 2018 where he allegedly shot at somebody else. The chief of police told reporters, "We've dealt with him before, the same individuals. That is what I hear from our officers. We arrest them and have to deal with them again. Shooting incidents, murders, what's right about that? His homie Youngboy might have just beat his case, but it don't look like DDawg is going to be as lucky. With a manslaughter charge on top of the attempted murder, DDawg could end up behind bars for decades if he gets convicted. Plus, his bond is set at 19.4 mil, so it ain't..."
You said what? Hold on, you said what?
If he gets convicted. Plus, his bond is set at 19.4 mil, so it ain't looking too good.
19 million. Boy, what the fuck do you be doing? I don't know, bro. I don't know, bro. 19 million? Bro, I can go get. God damn it, somebody. Bro, I can go start a big ass real estate business. I can go buy 3 to 4 buildings. I can go cop stupid land. I can go do anything. And that's that nigga bun. I ain't gonna lie. If Youngboy pay that, he a bad motherfucker. I swear to God, he is a bad motherfucker. Ain't no way. I see if I had like 100 million. Clean slate. We shooting it on God. Even if I had like a little 50, I do 75. Somebody gotta bring that 25, cause I ain't no way I'm finna pay all this. And who knows what he finna do when he get back out. Thank 19 million though. Damn.
Good for him.
Damn.
Lul Timm shocked the world when he allegedly killed King Von back in 2020. That night, Von and his crew allegedly attacked Quando Rondo, so Lil Timm pulled his burner out and started busting shots. Lil Timm also got hit during all the chaos, but he drove himself to the hospital after it went down. While he was in the hospital, Timm got hit with a murder charge, King Von's death. And in March 2021, they let him out on a $100,000 bond. But instead of keeping his head down and waiting for his trial to start, Lil Timm was arrested again after he got into a high-speed chase in Georgia. There aren't a lot of details about what went down, but in September 2021, DJ Academics posted Lil Timm's mugshot on Twitter after the chase. According to the records from the sheriff's office, Timm was booked on failure to stop at a stop sign, speeding, following another car too closely, failure to obey traffic control devices, and fleeing or attempting to elude a police officer for a felony offense. A lot of people thought he'd be in jail for a minute this time, but Lil Timm posted bail again and is back out on the streets. He was already facing a murder charge for the Von situation, but now he got another felony to deal with too. Hopefully, he's got a legal team, because otherwise, he could end up sitting down for a long time.
These boys be wild, I ain't gonna lie. These niggas be
Bruce
wild.
was Gotham. He was a friend,
Fuck my mouth.
a mentor,
You're right now. I don't know if I get hit. God damn.
Foolio was a rapper from Jacksonville who blew up because of his wild beef with Young and Ace. Both of them was already buzzing, but when their crews turned Jacksonville into a war zone, it made their music pop off even more. Now Foolio's facing a felony charge for fleeing the police after a traffic stop back in April. On April 5th, Jacksonville sheriff's officers pulled Foolio over in his Dodge Durango. They testified that they originally stopped him for his window tint, and then he drove under the speed limit for less than 400 feet before he stopped. Body cam footage shows that Foolio stopped less than 20 seconds after the cops tried to pull him over. When he parked the Durango, 5 detectives ran up on him with their guns out and cuffed him. The cops ain't find anything illegal in the whip, but a detective testified that they actually stopped Foolio because they wanted to confiscate cell phones to help him with a different case. They held Foolio in a squad car for over 2 hours. Then, they took him to the state attorney's office to question him about a murder case he never even got arrested for. 5 hours after they stopped him, the cops finally told Foolio he was under arrest for evading the police and took him to jail. The whole situation was sketchy. An assistant state attorney showed up at the scene and basically told the cops what to do. And it's obvious that Foolio was only arrested because of other crimes they think he's involved in. Foolio's lawyer filed a motion to have the case thrown out, and the judge said he would consider it. The videos make it clear that Foolio didn't actually try to run, but the cops had to charge him with something since they held him for 5 hours with no probable cause. The case is still ongoing, but chances are the judge will just dismiss the whole thing. Jim Jones popped off back in the 2000s and was in a crew with Cameron called Dipset. But like a lot of dudes from that era, he couldn't keep up with the game and ended up falling off pretty hard. Then in 2018, Jones and his homies got into a chase with the cops in Georgia. According to the police report, the Mercedes SUV Jones was in was drifting all over the interstate. When the cops tried to pull him over, the driver of the SUV floored it and tried to escape. The police wasn't playing though. They swerved in front of the Mercedes and let it hit them to stop the chase. When they walked up to the whip, they said it was full of smoke and smelled like weed. The driver was a woman named Anna Rajni Miles, and Jones said he tried to get her to pull over, but she was acting incoherent. When the cops searched the SUV, they found a backpack with oxycodone pills and 2 guns, and another backpack with oxycodone, Percocet, THC oil, and cash. Jones told the cops he smoked weed, but that the weed in the car wasn't his. They booked him on receiving stolen property, possession of a firearm during the commission of a crime, and drug charges. Originally, he got hit with 5 felonies and was facing decades in prison, but Jones got a great plea deal and avoided jail time completely. All he had to do was pay a $1,500 fine and spend 2 years on probation. Hopefully, he don't get in any more trouble, because he'll probably never get that lucky in the court system again.
No boys, no.
Lil Uzi Vert came up in Philly, where it's normal to see dudes riding down the streets on dirt bikes and ATVs. But in 2016, Uzi got in trouble with the cops in Atlanta after trying to outrun them on a dirt bike. According to the police report, Uzi and his homies riding through Atlanta on dirt bikes without lights or helmets. They was riding on sidewalks, going the wrong way on one-way streets, and allegedly crossed 5 lanes of traffic without signaling. And when cops tried to pull him over, Uzi and his homies took off. But Uzi went too fast, lost control, and wiped out. They tried to run away on foot, but the cops caught up and booked him on obstruction, reckless driving, and a few other charges. After they posted bail, Uzi proved they wasn't taking it too seriously when he hopped on IG and posted a video popping a wheelie on a dirt bike. Most of the charges ended up getting dropped, but Uzi did plead guilty for failure to maintain lane and got hit with 80 hours of community service plus a $1,000 fine. The situation worked out at the end of the day, but hopefully Uzi at least puts on a helmet if he ever has to run away.
That is it for the video. I ain't gonna lie though. Like I said, 19 million, see. Boy, I ain't gonna. Nigga called my phone. And I'm niggas broke talking about, oh yeah, bro, bun 19 million. You blocked on my, what I'ma do? Crazy? That's it for the video. Basically, I like it. Got new, go hit subscribe. Turn on post notifications, basically get notificated to my job on road to unsubscribe. Invest that since my express. See y'all for the next video because I'm mentally out of here. Peace.